Welcome to the Spot Real Talk. We are doing our Quarantine Chronicles happy hour. I'm drinking a little mimosa here. My name is Tiara.
I'm LaWanda, water.
Surprise, surprise, I'm on water too today. Tiffany.
Surprise. I'm on nothing. My daughter was supposed to make me one of her great mixes, but she got busy, I suppose. So
all right, well, y'all making me look bad now.
No, there's a reason why I'm on water tonight. So
after that episode, it's okay. We understand.
Yeah, I needed the wine after this.
Yeah.
I will make my drink when we're done. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you guys hang tight, we'll be right back with you to discuss the season finale of Insecure.
One burnt you, know that ain't cool. Wanna show you how I'm nothing like him. Swear that's the truth. You can't trust that.
All right, like I said, we are back. We are talking about Insecure season 4, episode 10. This is the finale of the season called Lowkey Lost. And man,
How lost?
everybody's lost. It seems like.
One thing I know. One thing I was.
We called some things.
Oh yeah. Now, one thing I was talking with Tiffany just before we started the recording. It seems like every guy on the show is catching fever over these women. I mean, what is it about the show? I mean, I'm glad my boy stood up finally and told Molly, what's up.
Okay, let's talk about that. I'm so happy Andrew finally put his foot down.
Yes, he put it down, and he put it down rather firmly. And and now you see, Molly just grabbing for straws. Now, she beg. Well, not in the begging sense, but I mean, she's
scrambling
all the way. She was a different Molly, and now you see she calls Issa.
Well, didn't I say that was going to happen?
Yeah.
I told you she was going to call Issa. I said, watch. I said, if he dump her butt, she was going to have time for Issa.
Sure did.
We all saw that coming, right?
Yeah,
we all
did.
I'm just hoping he actually dumped her. But I'm glad that he did say to her, how he felt and what he thought about, what she, every time, if it wasn't about her, it wasn't at all. So, he had to do everything she wanted to do. And
she forced him into that mixer for her job and forced him into the little shindig afterwards. And it's like, oh my God, Molly, how can you not see that you're like so overbearing?
Way overbearing.
Well, first of all, how can she say that Issa was selfish when she's been selfish this entire time with Andrew? Everything has been her way. He has acquiesced to her, just like she expects everybody, including Issa, to do with her.
And that's exactly what Andrew said too. He was talking about how she always dismisses his feelings, but she expects him to bend over backwards for her.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's spot on.
And that's a heavy weight for a man, for a brother, because you want to appease the young lady, whomever you're dating, whatever, you try to be cordial, you want to do and make her happy, but that's a very heavy weight to carry for months on end. So I think we all knew that at some point that weight would just be too overbearing for him, and he had to let it go because he's a smart young man, and he just needs to move forward and get somebody that's going to be more leveled, because Molly's all over the place with her emotions.
Absolutely. And to jump a little bit ahead in the episode, when they were on the bus searching for Tiffany, and Derek was kind of talking about all the things that he could have done. And, he was just giving his little, like spilling his heart out basically. And I think that moment kind of like resonated with Issa and Molly, because like later on, after he said that, you seen Molly trying to be more reasonable and trying to like do more. So I was glad that like something kind of got through to her, but it seemed like it just took so much. Like people have been telling her the same stuff the whole season. And it's like, why weren't you getting it sooner? Like, why couldn't you see it?
Yeah, she was completely oblivious to how, I guess, Andrew was processing her behavior. Because we could see those moments when he got quiet, like he was contemplating and he was thinking. It's almost like he had a mental list in his head about, okay, all of these things are racking up. Finally, to the point he just had to say something. He couldn't take it anymore.
Agreed.
And now whether they actually stay together or not, that remains to be seen, because they kind of left that hanging in the air. Like, did they break up, or did he just kind of like have a stern talking with her?
I felt like he was breaking up with her, because when he said we're not a good match, like that, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, but then Molly was kind of like, well, I can work harder on it. You know, I can do whatever.
Yeah, she looked like a little puppy whining about,
Yeah.
wanting to be patted on the head or whatever. I don't know what she was going through at that point, but he did
Yeah.
he asked her a question, and the question
That she didn't answer either.
Like,
Right?
what
She
he
struggled
right
to
for,
answer.
really.
answered the question. So in theory, he picked up her vibe a long time ago. So I think he knew for some time that she was just, moseying along, trying to see what's going to happen. Really wasn't into it. I think that I think Molly was forcing herself in that relationship.
She didn't want to be alone. Somebody said that on Twitter, and that was
And
the
she
point.
was forcing the issue. I don't think she really wanted Andrew, because I think if she really wanted him, I think things would have been a little more amenable for Andrew.
Yeah.
I think she wants him. She just don't know how to.
I think she wants the idea of him. Like, she wants the
be in a
successful man.
relationship.
She wants the good relationship,
Right.
but she doesn't know how to get it once it comes to her, and so she sabotaged it.
What's that hot box? I mean, she doesn't take time to sit back and think about what she's in, the kind of man she has. She should have thought about the kind of man she has. A good man. He's a smart a smart guy. She doesn't do that. She just, when given time, she's just right off the cuff. She starts to holler, scream, fuss, fight, and so eventually it's going to weigh on her mate.
But I think that's the point. When he asked the question, what do you want? So do you want the idea of having a boyfriend, always have somebody around, somebody to take you on dates? Or do you want a relationship where you have to work and where there's give and take and where you have to actually consider the other person and what that person needs and what that person wants? And it just didn't seem if she was that deep.
Well, she couldn't.
Yeah, she couldn't answer the question. Yeah, I want to fight because nobody wants to be broken up with. Nobody wants to be left.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Now, we talked a little bit earlier this season about Issa and how she has been using her platform so well for this show. We seen like the snapshots of the Kobe murals with his daughter, and then the snapshot of the Nipsey Hussle mural. But then on the issue of the postpartum depression, we talked about this a couple episodes ago when Tiffany first revealed her baby to everybody, and we kind of picked up that something's going on here, and we applauded Issa back then for using her platform to bring attention to it. But this episode, I did not necessarily see this coming, so I was kind of thrown off when Tiffany kind of like ran off, and I was like, hold up, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean,
I was hoping it would end well.
Yeah.
Well,
I did. Yeah, me too. And I really liked the way when Derek found her, the way he loved on her. Showing us as a couple, like he didn't berate her, he didn't do anything. He just held her and everything and stuff. And that was really loving of him. And I thought that was important to show on screen of her having that supportive partner like that.
No, I agree. And he's always loved Tiffany, and we could all see, bits, and there were little periods where Tiffany was going through something. I guess having the baby and having to settle down and raise this kid and having a true family. I think it was just a bit much for Tiffany. I'm glad to see that they were all together and they came together to find her. That was a good scene. I like that. It's just, the question is, where is Tiffany right now? I
think that now that they know that there's a problem, they're going to be probably addressing this next season.
Yeah.
But
I really loved the commentary that came on in the wind down when they were talking about it, because they were talking about how Tiffany's usually the strong friend and she's always put together, nails done, hair done, nothing is out of place for her. But when her husband found her in that room, she's kind of like looking, she didn't look crazy, but she's not as put together as she usually is.
She didn't have her wig on, natural hair.
Exactly. Down to, she stripped all the way down, bare.
And she should stay that way. She looked fine to me.
Yeah, but I think that's the facade, like as her role, as what her role is in their four-way friendship, is she's that one who has the persona, who has the facade on, who always wants to present things as perfect. And you could probably understand that maybe some of the reasons she's having is because she wasn't vocal, didn't want to communicate what she was going through, thinking that you have to keep things to yourself. And while I understand that in your relationship, that there are some things that you don't share, not to the point to where you make yourself ill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We all need a shoulder.
And that's a neurosis.
Ear.
That's a neurosis that she put on herself. And I agree with you with all the, you know, trying to be prissy and being above board, always had to look a certain way. You know, that'll weigh on you after a while. And I think that's where we are. You know, it just weighed on her, and to the point that she just flipped.
Yeah, and I think Amanda Seals, after the show, she was mentioning, you know, just because you're the strong friend doesn't mean you're the mentally healthy friend.
Right.
It does
That's
weigh
true.
on you. So I was so glad that they addressed it, and I really liked the way that they addressed it, because it wasn't like so like in your face. It was just like, wait, where did this come from? So I was like, okay, like I really liked how they didn't make it so obvious that, you know, she had an issue, because sometimes that's how it is. Like all of her best friends didn't even realize that there was as big of a problem as there was. Like sometimes you really do need to just check on your strong friend.
I think Kelly saw something, but I guess she couldn't really pinpoint it.
Right.
I think there were times when Kelly saw something or heard her say something that, you know, kind of made her look at her twice. But two, when you're that age and she's the first one to get married and the first one to have a child, you don't really have that knowledge too. And that's the thing, you know.
I think you feel isolated sometimes too, because none of your friends are on the same page with you. They can't really relate.
Right.
Yeah.
Those growing pains, if you will, that, you know, sometimes you just don't get over, you know, because she's still very committed to her friends, and she sees that they're out having a good time doing whatever things she used to do, and she's trying to hold it down like everything's everything, and eventually it caught up with her.
And how about that wild goose chase they had to go on to even find her?
I mean, that right there.
Listen, I thought with everything going on, and they had that scene with the police, I was like, oh Lord, please don't let this be that type of episode. Because I was like,
I thought they were going there too.
That right now.
Exactly.
We're gonna go there, but you know, and I guess they did in a bit, because
they did, but it didn't end badly.
Well, the cop did what all these other cops should be doing in reality.
Thank you, Ron. He said, "Oh, not me, not tonight."
Exactly.
But you know what? I applaud her for doing that, because to the extent it's often said that art imitates life, but it's the other way around sometimes, that people model the behavior that they see. And this is the second time they've done that. It was a episode, I want to say last season, when Lawrence was driving and he got pulled over, and that situation could have gone potentially wrong, but the officer let him go with a warning. So I think I applaud her for showing her this is the model behavior. This is what we want to see. We've seen enough of things going bad and people getting roughed up by the cops or beat up or shot or whatever. I applaud them for not giving us that. We've seen enough of that in real life. We don't need to see that on screen.
That's what I said. I wasn't mad that it was in there. I was just nervous of the direction it was getting ready to go. Especially when Kelly was like, I've been tased. When she started, I said, oh Lord. You know, I was like, that's all you need for somebody.
It's so funny too, because it's like, it's so representative of art, like the Black experience, because like so many people say, like, we are not monolithic. There's so many different varieties that you're gonna get. So Kelly over there about to pop off, and then you got Issa kind of in the corner, like looking shy, and Molly is trying to like reason with the cops, trying to, you know, play lawyer. And so I'm like, this is an interesting friend group, because you got a little bit of everything in there.
But that's what I could imagine that situation happening in real life, right?
Me too.
And so I'm glad they brought it up, because it's a subject that's present on everyone's mind, right? So they couldn't not address it, but the way they did it, I think this is model behavior. This is exactly how this situation should go.
Exactly.
Listen, I've had episodes personally with the cops. And I had to pop off at a cop before because he was disrespectful to my mother.
Look, we can go of this, because I've had a situation where if I didn't have my press badge, God, I can tell you, I don't know what would have happened. And this guy you know, for no reason at all. I'm at a stoplight. He's on one end. He's on, say, heading south. I'm heading north. He makes a U-turn when the light turns green, pulls me over, and he has a flashlight, and he's doing this as he's coming to my car.
And that's sad too, because I feel like we've had, I think everybody can think of a negative experience that they've had where like it stands out to you, it's memorable, and you can always remember like how present you felt, like that feeling you felt, it sticks with you.
And it does. And the thing is, it's so many things are running through your mind, you know.
Trauma. Talk about trauma.
How am I going to get out of this? Or how bad this beat down going to really be? You know, it's so many things that going to run through your mind. But they did a good job, and I think they had the right cop, the right message at the right time.
And that's what I was going to say about Issa, addressing things with her platform. Man, she's really killing it. This is another instance where she used her platform in the right way, and she didn't make it like so like in your face. It was nice and subtly weaved into the storyline. I'm like, okay, Issa, killing it this season.
Yes.
But speaking of Miss Issa, so her and Lawrence are in their sweet spot. It seems like they have just gotten back into the groove of things. They're kind of like honeymooning it. Everything is all good. Lawrence brings up the San Fran job and how well it went, and so he's seeming like he says he's going to go to San Fran. They talk about where their relationship stands, and we talked about this last episode. Would Issa go, or would she, relocate? Would she do a long distance thing? And it seems like she's down for both.
Oh yeah, I mean, think about it. Like she said, and it was perfect. I want to be somewhere where I can be happy, and I'm happy with you. So hey, if it takes her moving to San Francisco to be happy, bon voyage.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad.
San Francisco.
Say again?
I said you can throw events. She can throw events in San Francisco.
And she can go back and forth to LA. But for a minute there, he looked hesitant.
He did
look hesitant when she said like she was going to give up everything for him. And I was like, okay, maybe he's not pleased that she's going to give up everything so easily.
I thought the same thing. He looked a little pensive when she said that. And I'm thinking, where's your head now?
Right.
Is this too much for you? Is this what you wanted? Or maybe you just wanted to be
right, because he seemed content when she said that she was okay with long distance. But as soon as he mentioned her relocating, that's when he got a little iffy. And I was
it was when she said, when he was asking, he said, well, your friends and everything is here. And she was like, oh, well, I'll make new friends. It sounded like she was ready to give up everything for him. And I noticed when I was live tweeting, some of the people said that. Some of the ladies was like, oh, no, Issa, don't give up everything for him.
Sometimes that's how it is. When you are the person that has messed up in the relationship, it's like you kick it into overdrive, trying to like overcompensate. And so I feel like that's a little bit of what she's doing now. She's trying to prove herself. Well, and I was like, that's typical of somebody who has messed up in the relationship and is really trying to like make it right.
I more or less took it as a second chance. They have this second chance, and she's down. She's really down to making it work. That's a big move, but like she said, nothing's really keeping me here.
Right.
And I wasn't mad at her, because I'm like, if you do get a second chance, and if this is your soulmate,
if you feel it,
you gotta make it work.
Exactly.
Well, she did go and see Nathan.
Yeah.
And it seems like he was showing her his additional space in the back of his barbershop, and possibly for use for her in an event. So I was like, well, how invested is she in possibly picking up and leaving if she's still planning her events in her in Inglewood?
Well, she could go back and forth.
True.
Yeah, she said it's only a 45-minute flight.
Yeah.
I know some people have done that.
Well, she definitely set the boundaries with Nathan again. And I was glad that he kind of apologized. That was big of him to say he was wrong for talking down on Lawrence.
Right.
So I really like Nathan.
I like Nathan is a good guy too. He can't go wrong with either of those guys.
He really can't.
Yeah, but what do you think about?
Part of me really wants her to be with Nathan, though.
What about? She's going to be. She's thinking about using the facilities in the back of the barbershop. How's that really going to play out with Nathan?
I think it's playing with fire, but
It's
Really,
too close for comfort.
I mean,
Yep.
Too close for comfort.
I don't know how that's going to work out. You know.
She already failed one test.
Yeah.
Right. Don't be putting, dangling meat in front of your face, Issa, now.
yeah, it's too much chemistry there. It's just too much.
Yeah. And with Lawrence being in another city,
Well, Lawrence came over to Issa to drop that bomb on her.
And I think we all felt it, right? We felt
it. We called
look on
it.
his face.
And a lot of people have been saying this all season long, that Condola's pregnant. And it was very believable because we hadn't seen her in a long while and we kept hearing her name, but she wasn't on screen. And so I'm like, there might be something to this.
I told Ron offline, the way she kept incessantly calling him, I was like, Issa referred to her being like a gnat, and she was really like insistent with the calls. I was like, something is wrong. She is pregnant. Like, she is too pressed to speak to him.
I know. All I heard when she said that was Usher confessions. She said she's 3 months pregnant and she's keeping it.
Oh my God.
First thing that came to mind was you. Second thing is, how do I know if it's mine and is it true?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Lauren said.
Yeah, I think I like the way the writers handle it, because last episode, they let us think that everything was good. I spoke to her, it's over, it's all good, right? And then this week, they dropped the bomb.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great writing.
Interesting though. Why didn't she tell him last week when they spoke? Or when he made the phone call, when she called, or when whomever called who, but why?
We don't know how far along she is. We don't know if she just found out.
She might have just found out.
Or she could have just wanted to see where he was.
That's possible.
Or she might have been processing it herself. Like, am I actually going to keep it? Because it seemed like when she went to his house, she was like, no, I'm keeping it. She had already made up her mind.
But for
so maybe she'd had a chance to think about it.
But for Lauren's sake, when Condola said, you can have, you can
be as present as you want to be.
Right. Danger. I started hearing this danger flashing.
I was about to say, it sounds good right now.
but
when that baby get here and you getting hit with them child support checks.
Look, get your feet wet now. Go ahead and do what you got to do. Man up.
He may end up back with her. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
To
me, it's very conceivable for a man like Lawrence.
Mm-hmm.
Because, he's a good guy. And I'm telling you, kids they can change you. They can sometimes change a relationship. And it seems to me that if Lawrence actually saw the child, let's say it's a boy, and he's always wanted a boy, and it looks like him. I mean, can you really leave that baby behind as a good man? I couldn't. I wouldn't.
But it's not leaving the child behind, it's leaving her behind, because the one thing of course, in a perfect world, we want this. No, I'm serious, because what I'm about to say is, in a perfect world, they would be together, but she still hadn't expressed that she wanted to be with him like that. She didn't say that. I think we're making that assumption, but she didn't say that.
But
she said before she was saying she didn't even want kids. She said she didn't want to get married again. She didn't want to have a family. She said that.
And in fact, in this episode, she says, I got it on my own.
Yeah, it's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot of unknowns.
That relationship never really had a chance from the start. So, it was, I don't know, one and done almost. The relationship never really had a chance. So, I mean,
it did. It just,
if they were both compatibly, working toward it, I agree. But
the thing was, he still loved Issa, which is what we said all along.
Yeah.
But some people do try to force it to work.
He and Condola had chemistry, and they probably could have made a go of it, but he did still have underlying,
But when there's a child involved, some people do try to force it to work, at least for the child's sake, to see if they can make it work. Yeah. But I don't think that's going to be the situation here.
No.
I know Lawrence is a good dude and his conscience weighs on him, so I know he would be present. I just don't know that he would really try to build anything with Condola. He's very invested in Issa, but at this point, my heart really
look at Lawanda's face. Lawanda looked like Isaac. Otherwise, I don't know.
I shed a tear. I felt for Issa. I shed a tear when that happened. I was like, oh. Mm-hmm. I saw the look in her face. It's just yeah.
I mean, well, what do you guys think? Should Issa still work it out with Lawrence? Should she?
I think what Tiara said earlier, you got to give it some time, because you don't want to jump in too quickly, and then Lawrence does exactly what I just said, and that's a hurt that I don't think Issa would be able to get over. So at
and
this
then
point,
you become resentful after the fact.
Right.
But like I said, and when I in my early 30s, I would have had the response that Issa had, but being a little older, I would do just that. I would definitely express my hurt, at that situation of me wanting to be the one, me wanting to be the first, to have the first child, me wanting to have that relationship. Yeah. But I'd also be mindful of the fact that he's in a situation he doesn't want to be in either. Right. You step out of that selfish mode and like blame, like you messed up. No, we were in a situation, we weren't together. This happened. You don't want her to be pregnant any more than I do. And
right, it's not like a betrayal here. It's just an unfortunate circumstance.
Because the other side of it, he didn't just come to tell her. He came to her for comfort. That's the other thing too. And I guess she has to be careful with her heart. She doesn't want to be in a situation to where she puts herself out there and he ends up with her.
But what about they try to work it out, and every time Lawrence is with that baby, what's going on in Issa's mind?
I know the
get over
that situation, and it's hard for them to let it go. It's easier said than done. Like, okay, I'm gonna work through it. We're gonna stick it out, but it's always in your mind, like, dang, like, why me? Like, why us? Why the situation? I think Issa said that in the wind down after the show. She was talking about how in season 2, when she was having flash, trying to imagine her and Lawrence getting back together, the first thing in her little daydream was her and Lawrence having a child. And so, like, when you don't have kids and the man that you're with is having his first child with somebody else, that's
tough.
But I think that's a deal breaker. That's hard.
No. I'm gonna give you a real life example. I'm about to give you a real life example. Gabby Union and Dwayne Wade. They broke up, and during their breakup, Dwayne had a break baby. They got back together, and they are happily married now with children and stuff. So
you notice we don't see much of that break baby.
I can ready to say we don't know what's behind.
We don't, but they are happily married, and she still married him anyway. Is what I'm saying. Okay. That they overcame that.
Okay.
Ron, I have a question for you. So my question is, how do you think Lawrence felt when Issa had her response? Do you think that even as a friend to him, that maybe she should have been able to offer him some comfort, because he's definitely in a situation he doesn't want to be in either, because it's definitely not a plan he had for his life.
Right.
Well, I put myself in his shoes at that moment, that point in time. And I think the way things went down would be exactly how I would think things would go down. And I wouldn't expect much from Issa. In fact, I would be the one trying to comfort her, because in some respect, I would think that I did her wrong. When, because as he said, he didn't know. It was before the her big show, it was before this, before that. So he was trying to explain to her, this wasn't planned. It wasn't something that, I thought I could get away with or anything like that. I think he really wanted to comfort her. He understood how Issa felt, because I think he knows that Issa wants to be with him, and he knows that his having a baby, that first baby, as you said, Tiara, and it's not her. Issa's going through things, so I think it was more on him to want to console her than she get up and say, "Okay, it's okay, I'm good." I wouldn't expect that from her. As a man, I would.
What do you think about? At least this is what the writers are showing us, that the first person he went to talk to was Issa and not Chad. That we're seeing the conversation he's having with Issa and not the conversation he's having with
Chad would have, Chad would have.
Bad advice.
Chad
only offer bad advice.
Bad. That would be just bad news. He does not want to talk to Chad. I don't know. That baby would be 2 years old if it were me. Before I said anything to Chad. So.
But he did also reassure Issa. He said, "I want to be with you." So that's the thing that was reassuring too. It wasn't like, at least to Issa, he he wasn't on the fence about where his
But they already have obstacles though. First, it's the distance and the move to San Fran. So that's already one obstacle in their way. Then it's Issa and her business. How's she going to deal with her career? That's another obstacle. Then you have this baby that just complicates things even more. And the fact that Condola and Issa used to be friendly, it makes things awkward. So it's like, even if I did decide to stay with you, like, how are me and Condola gonna deal?
And let me add
like a whole mess.
Let me add one more piece of wood to the fire. You still got Nathan. So
I mean, Nathan's not really an issue. He's kind of on the back. He is an issue. I'm just saying he's on the back burner. Like, he's not an immediate threat at the moment.
Right now, he's
an immediate threat.
He's an immediate threat. Well, that's my point.
Yeah, right. Because he don't have no baggage right now.
Exactly. He doesn't have any baggage. They do work well together.
But what did I tell y'all last week about that grass is greener syndrome?
Well, I mean, but it's also weighing your options. So she says, oh, this is kind of heavy over here, but this is much lighter over here. So let me go over here to the light side because
relationships will work.
I mean, and we don't know the extent of Nathan's, mental health issues. He could really be going through it.
That's baggage too, though.
But that's
a lot to deal with.
She hasn't seen that. She hasn't really seen that except that time when he.
And that's why I say the grass is greener syndrome might be at play here, because you never know what you're gonna get on the other side of that fence.
But to be fair, she's experienced the same thing with Lawrence when he was depressed, when he didn't have a job and his business wasn't working.
That's true. That's true.
So she can handle certain things. I look. There's a reason that she's willing to take that spot in the barbershop. There's a reason that she still wants to be friends with Nathan. Look, don't count Nathan out, okay?
Why she left the door cracked?
Yeah, this is not the fourth quarter, okay? The game.
Well, if she do decide to get back with Nathan, I don't think I'm mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Hey, we got
less than
a minute.
Okay, I was gonna say, do we even know if Lawrence is still gonna take the job now that he knows about the baby? I mean, that might be a deal breaker.
That'll be next season.
Yeah, that'll be next season. And I would suppose he would take the job. Whether he comes back, I don't know. I think initially he would. I mean, that's a heck of a job he's about to pass up.
It is, but that's that's still in another city, and the back and forth to see the child, like he's gonna want to be there to see the data.
She gave him an option. Let's see how he plays it.
Well, I got another question for y'all. So we see at the end of the episode, Molly stepped up and called Issa this time. So do you think that there's a chance that they can work things out and be friends again and work through their hurt together?
Of course, because Issa is always, she's that friend that, all you got to do is pick up the phone, call her. She's always going to be there.
Listen, a lot of women bond over their male problems. True. That'll bring friends together.
But she's still gonna have to get past what Molly said. So all of a sudden, you like how she is now that you need to commiserate because your relationship is on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
What she said to Issa was painful. That was hurtful.
No, yeah, she was out of pocket for real.
All right, well, we are down to less than a minute. I think next season I can't wait for it. Issa, please don't take too long for season 5.
This was great.
It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did too.
I just wish it was a little longer. That's all.
Right.
So HBO, if you watch the live today, they have set times and everything. We ain't getting an hour, so we just gonna have to deal with the 30 minutes.
And Issa will cuss you out about a 60-minute.
Yes, she will.
Will. Okay, guys. So before we close out, do you guys have any closing remarks that you want to say about Insecure season 4 so far? How you felt? Comments? What you think might happen in season 5?
Well, I think Lawrence is going to take the job. I think he's going to have a war between the minds. He probably will come back, but I think definitely he's going to take the job. I think that baby is going to wear him down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I love this. I love this season. I thought it was good. It was really good. It was great. I don't even want to anticipate what's going to happen next season. I can't even go there.
That's being safe.
Well, it's not even being safe because, and it's probably, it could work out the way you say. He could take the job in San Francisco, try to do the back and forth and try to be there for Issa and Condola. It could not work out. But I think I remember, I may have been an interview with Jay Ellis, and he was saying that he views it as Lawrence and Issa are soulmates. And
I
so
saw that
sometimes
too.
It just takes time and maturity that maybe he has to go through that process of them not being together, of him being the father. And, you know, if they end up together, Condola has to always know that she wasn't first choice. And that's the only reason why he's there. Now, it may not make a difference if you end up married for 20 or 30 years, raising a kid together, but you can always know that you weren't his choice.
Right. Right.
So,
All right, you got anything, Tiff?
I share LaWanda's sentiments. Like, I really enjoyed the season. I feel like I like Issa and Lawrence together. I do think they're soulmates, but I also like Nathan. I think he's a good dude. She couldn't go wrong with either one of them. It was several people on Twitter was just like, Issa deserves all the happiness. Give her, she deserves both.
I agree.
Okay.
And Lawrence just made that real easy to have both.
I'm not even touching that. I'm not even going to touch that. I'll get you next season. Okay.
Okay. Well, I agree with all of you guys. Thank you, the viewers, for watching. First of all, sticking with us through this whole season. We definitely appreciate you. We love conversing with you. So as usual, drop the comments and let us know how you felt about this episode, about the season. Give us your predictions. What do you think is gonna happen with Issa and Lawrence and his baby? Like, that's the biggest, issue going on right now. Please, let us know. Give us your thoughts.
And I was gonna say, guys, we're still trying to figure out. Like, we saw some of your comments about wanting to go live for the finale. We want to do it, but we're doing this via Zoom, so we're trying to figure that out, like how we can go live with Zoom and get you guys involved.
Yeah, work with us. We're still figuring it out. Coming up next, our next show, Tiff, you want to give it to them?
We're going to recap The Chi. So I hope you guys follow us over to Showtime to watch The Chi.
Yep, definitely another good show. Got a lot of talking points in that one. So get ready for some more good conversation. Please make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, like this video, and also click the notification bell so you get notified every single time we post. Also follow us on all of our social media at The Spot Real Talk on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We follow back. We respond to your comments. We love you guys. So thank you for sticking with us through each and every show that we transition to. We got some loyal spotters out here. And thank you for sticking with us through our growing pains too. We've been figuring things out with this quarantine, and it's been a lot of growing throughout this journey. So just thank you to all the viewers who stick with us. If you guys don't have anything else to add, Ron, did you have something to say?
Except that you said it all, and we look forward to The Chi and also next season with Insecure. I love you guys. Peace.
And Ron, I just had to tell you again that I was right.
Well, I'm gonna sip my wine on that one.
Oh yeah, she's gonna drive me to drink. That's what she's gonna do.
All right, have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right. Bye.
Just let it breathe. 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 Beautiful if you ask me, tend to analyze. That's a part of my thoughts that I don't glamorize. Jay-Z and Beyonce got that lemonade. Me and you was a better grade, Minute Maid. I'm from a place where they controlling that reefer, growing the teacher, lyrically colder than Keisha, good lord. And y'all ain't half as nice, blogging is dead, let's enjoy the afterlife. Like a weapon, see me reppin', y'all can get with, like old school Martin.